The theater was quiet in a soft and waiting way, the kind of quiet that settles like dust in the air before something important happens. Blue and white lights rested gently on the wide stage, not rushing, not flashing, just breathing slowly. The audience sat close together, strangers sharing the same silence. Somewhere behind the curtain, a man stood alone, listening to the low hum of the room. He closed his eyes for a moment and felt the steady beat of his heart. This place felt far from home, yet strangely familiar, like a dream that had visited him many times before. He thought about how long the road had been to reach this stage. Years of quiet practice rooms. Years of walking through streets where his name opened doors and closed them at the same time. He had learned early that some names carry weight. Some names arrive before you do. His father's voice had traveled the world long before his own voice had fully formed. And tonight, that past waited with him, patient and heavy, as he took a slow breath and prepared to step forward. Growing up, music was never far away. It lived in the walls, in old recordings, in stories told by relatives who spoke with pride and longing. His father, Freddie Aguilar, was not just a singer in their home. He was a memory shared by millions. One song in particular followed the family everywhere, like a quiet shadow. Anak, a song about parents and children, about distance and return, about love that waits even when hurt. As a child, the man had listened from the doorway while his father sang it softly, not for crowds, but for himself. As he grew older, the song began to change shape in his mind. It stopped being just a famous melody and became a question. Was he living his own life, or walking a path already drawn? When people learned who his father was, their faces often lit up. Then came the pause. Then came the expectation. He learned to smile through it. He learned to answer polite questions. But inside, a small worry stayed awake. Would his voice ever be heard as his own, or would it always echo someone else? That worry followed him to America's Got Talent. The auditions were busy and loud, full of excitement and nerves. People practiced lines, stretches, jokes, dances. He watched them all with quiet respect. Each person carried a story, even if it was hidden behind confidence or fear. When his turn came, he walked onto the stage with careful steps. The lights felt warmer now, closer. He could see the judges' table clearly. Simon Cowell sat there, calm and observant, his expression thoughtful, unreadable. The short interview passed gently. His voice was steady, though his hands trembled just a little. He spoke honestly, without drama. He explained who his father was. He did not say it with pride or apology. It was simply a fact, like the color of the sky. A ripple moved through the audience. Recognition. Curiosity. Simon Cowell leaned forward slightly, listening. There was no judgment in his eyes, only attention. The moment felt balanced, like standing at the edge of a pool before jumping in. When the music began, it did not rush. The first notes of Anak floated into the room, soft and patient. He stood still, letting the sound settle around him. Then he sang. His voice was clear, gentle, and worn with feeling. It did not try to impress. It did not try to copy. It carried something quieter and deeper, like a letter written slowly by hand. Each word seemed to arrive with care, shaped by memory and understanding rather than ambition. As he sang, images moved through his mind. A younger version of himself listening from behind a door. His father sitting alone with a guitar, eyes closed. Long talks that happened late at night, about choices, mistakes, and forgiveness. The song was no longer just about a parent and a child. It was about time itself. About how love stretches across years, even when people grow apart. His voice trembled once, just for a second, and then steadied again. The audience felt it. They leaned forward without realizing it. Some closed their eyes. Others held their breath. The song filled the room not with volume, but with meaning. It felt like a conversation that had waited a long time to happen. Simon Cowell's expression softened. He did not interrupt. He did not look away. He listened as if the song were speaking directly to him, reminding him of something personal and important. Halfway through, something shifted. The man on stage stopped thinking about the past and started living in the present. The fear of comparison loosened its grip. He realized he was not there to compete with his father's memory. He was there to honor it by being honest. The song opened up, not as a burden, but as a bridge. His voice grew warmer, more confident, not louder, but fuller, like a river finding its course. The final lines came slowly. He let the last note fade naturally, without forcing it to stay. Silence followed, deep and complete. For a moment, no one moved. Then the room responded, not with sudden noise, but with rising warmth. Applause spread like a gentle wave. People stood. Some wiped their eyes. The man on stage bowed his head slightly, not out of habit, but gratitude. He felt lighter, as if something heavy had been set down at last. Simon Cowell spoke after the applause settled. His voice was calm, measured. He did not talk about technique or fame. He talked about truth. He said the performance felt real. He said it honored the song without hiding behind it. He said it takes courage to stand in the shadow of a powerful legacy and still speak in your own voice. The words were simple, but they landed deeply. The man nodded, listening carefully, taking them in. As the moment passed, he thought about his father watching from far away. He imagined him listening, not as a legend, but as a parent. He hoped the song had reached him in the quiet way it was meant to. Not as proof of success, but as understanding. The problem that had followed him for so long did not disappear completely. It softened. It became something he could carry without pain. A reminder rather than a weight. When he walked off the stage, the lights dimmed behind him. The noise of the theater faded. Backstage, the air felt cooler. He sat down and let his hands rest on his knees. His breathing slowed. For the first time in a long while, he felt still. He did not know what would happen next in the competition. He did not try to predict it. The moment he had just lived was enough. It felt complete. Later that night, alone in his room, he called home. The line was quiet at first. Then his father's familiar voice answered. They did not talk about judges or votes. They talked about the song. About how it felt to sing it. About how it felt to hear it. There was a pause filled with understanding. No long speeches were needed. The past and present met gently in that shared silence. The days that followed moved forward, as days always do. Interviews, rehearsals, waiting. Yet something inside him had changed. He walked differently now, not faster, not slower, but with more ease. The name he carried no longer felt like a question. It felt like a story with room for another chapter. He had stepped onto a stage far from home and spoken with his own voice, using words written long ago, and made them new again. In the end, the performance was not just about a song or a show. It was about listening. Listening to the past without being trapped by it. Listening to the present without fear. Listening to the quiet truth inside that says it is enough to be yourself. As the memory of that night settled into his life, it became a calm and steady light. A reminder that some voices from the past do not hold us back. They guide us forward, softly, until we learn to sing on our own.